What's going on, guys? Like I said, my next video was going to be on the Wii U. Now, I tried to do one video, covering like a bunch of, bunch of topics related to the Wii U, but I actually was not able to fit that within, a decent amount of time. So what I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to have to do a series. In this video, I'm going to talk about the specs, and in another video, I'm going to talk about the controller. I'm going to do another video dedicated for the, talking about the online, and another one talking about the games, stuff like that. So there's going to be a series of Wii U videos coming out, and like I said, I'm also going to talk about the 720 and PS4 and what I think they're going to be like and what I expect from them. But let's talk about the specs first. I want to say this first because there's so many misconceptions about the Wii U spec-wise. Now, for you Nintendo fans out there, oh, Shokio, why are you talking about specs again? Specs don't matter. They do matter right here, guys, because it determines the longevity, the lifespan of the Wii U and how well third parties will be able to support it. You see what I'm saying? So, anyways, I know you guys have seen it. Fanboys going around talking about, oh, the Wii U is only going to be slightly more powerful than the PS3 and 360. It's not a true next-gen system. I know you guys have seen it. Some of you out there, you probably said it yourselves. And the big one, oh, when the 720 and PS4 come out, they're going to blow the Wii U out the water. And I'll be addressing that one specifically later in this video. But first, I'm just going ahead and prove, not with my opinions, with factual information, I'm going to prove that it is indeed a next true generation system. I got some quotes from developers here. Developer testimony, people. Now, these are guys who actually have the Wii U in their hands. And some of them have had the Wii U in their hands for 2 years now. These are developers. They know what they're talking about. You can't argue with what a developer says about some hardware that they have their hands on. You know what I mean? If a developer says that it's next gen, it's a true next gen system, it's a true next gen system. You can't argue with that developer. They have it. They know what they're talking about. But anyways, Crytek, the people who made Crysis, the people who made Crysis 2. What did a lot of reviewers say was the most beautiful looking game on consoles? Crysis 2. Who made Crysis 2? Crytek. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I established the point. Okay, so Crytek came out and said that they're very happy with the Wii U specs. Now, for Crytek, one of the biggest developers out there known, for pushing hardware and making extremely beautiful graphics, for them to come out and say that they're very happy, not satisfied, not okay with, for them to say they're very happy with the Wii U specs, that says something, people. That should pretty much, it should just stomp out all your doubts right there, that alone. But I have more developers I'm gonna quote. For those of you saying the Wii U is it's just a transitional platform, it's just a 7.5 system. Peter Moore, executive at EA, he said that the Wii U is not a transitional platform. And I'm looking over here because on my second screen I got the quotes up and stuff. So that's why I keep looking over there. Yeah, so he said it's not a transitional platform. He addressed specifically the argument that it's 7.5, that it's a mid-step. He addressed that specifically and said, no, it's not a transitional platform. It's not a 7.5. It is a true 8th generation console. Gabe Newell said that the Wii U seems to be a lot more powerful than the previous generation. He wasn't necessarily talking about the specs in the whole interview, but he just mentioned that real quick, which is why, that's pretty much all he said spec-wise. But yeah, Gabe Newell said that. Ubisoft employee said that the console has a large memory capacity. Basically, saying it has a bunch of RAM. THQ employee said that the Wii U is much more powerful than the HD consoles, so the Wii U doesn't have a huge problem doing native 1080p. Let's see, I have another quote here from THQ. Where is it at? On the specs I've seen, the console is more capable than graphics that surpass current consoles. It's like I said before, expect the majority of third-party Wii U games from most publishers to have true 1080p, not this upscaled bullshit, true 1080p additional content and smoother frame rates than what the PS3 and 360 versions offer. Okay, now notice I didn't give you just one developer. I gave you 1, 2, 3, 4. I gave you 5 testimonies from 5 different developers. 5 different. One of them, Crytek. Another of them, EA, which is pretty much, DICE, Frostbite 2 engine. They know what they're talking about, people. So if you guys saying, oh, it's a last gen console, it's not strong, it's only going to be slightly more powerful, it's a little bit more powerful than PS3. No, because the developers are saying it's not. And to argue with me, let me repeat, to argue with me, to disagree with what I'm saying, is to argue with these developers, these people who have Wii U dev kits in their hands and are making games for it right now. Well, Gabe isn't, but I'm sure Crytek is doing something on it, and EA is working on stuff for the Wii U and stuff like that. But whatever, you get the point. Now, for you people saying when the PS4 and 720 comes out, the Wii U may be a next gen system, but they're gonna blow the 720 and PS4 are gonna blow the Wii U out the water. Couple points I want to make. Firstly, Iwata pretty much he confirmed. He actually came out and flat out just said, and I think Reggie said too. They said that the Wii U is going to be expensive. They flat out just said it. He said the Wii U is going to be expensive. To me, that sounds like $400. $400, $350, but $350 that's not necessarily on the expensive side. I'd say that's on the in-between side. $300 I'd consider is cheap. Then $350, $400 that's expensive. So basically what I get from that is $400. Now, guys, you see what I'm getting at. If it's gonna be $400, which what it sounds like, and with the Wii U pad too, if it's gonna be $400, for you to say that the 720 and the PS4 are gonna blow out the water, you're saying that the PS4 and 720 are going to be $500 to $600 consoles. It's as simple as that, people. You see what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. And a lot of people, they like to go to the past. They like to try to say, oh, well, the PS2 is a huge jump from the PS1, and the N64 is a huge jump from the SNES. Well, guys, we're at the age now where technology is advancing a lot faster than it was back then. Things are getting a lot more expensive than they were back then. So you can't keep expecting the same jumps over and over again. You see what I'm saying? Because if you guys are really expecting the same jump between the PS2 and the PS3 to the PS3 and the PS4, then you're looking at a $1,500 console. You see what I'm saying? Like, think, guys. Think. Nothing in this video I'm saying to you, nothing isn't something that you shouldn't be able to figure out by yourself. Everything I'm saying in this video is common sense. For you to say that the PS4 and 720 are going to blow out a most likely $400 console, that's like saying that the PS4 and 720 are going to be $500 and $600 consoles. Simple as that. And you guys are going to be sorely disappointed because you guys are expecting next gen to have this, photorealism. Oh my God, the graphics are going to be amazing. No, the leap isn't going to be that huge, people. It's not. It's not. Like I said, between the PS2 and the PS3 and the Xbox to the 360, we're not going to get that same graphical leap. We're not. We're just not. And you guys who keep on expecting this huge leap, like I said, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Next gen is all going to be about native 1080p, 60 frames per second. That's what it's going to be about. It's not necessarily going to be about photorealism. It's about native, 1080p, great sound, great frame rate, and it's going to be another huge focus is going to be capabilities. What can the system do? Oh, I can do this on the system, I can do that system. That's what next gen is going to be about, the online, things like that. The graphics aren't going to be a focus next generation, people. They're not. But yeah, there's something else I wanted to say that I forgot. Oh yeah, for all these leak specs and stuff, a lot of you commenting, trying to decipher these rumor specs and stuff, and you don't understand anything. Like, I'm not gonna say that I'm a genius when it comes to specs and everything, but I understand the basics, which a lot of you don't. Like that one rumor that came out a long time ago. The Wii U has 4 cores running at 3 gigahertz and 768 gigs of embedded RAM, of EDRAM. And a lot of people said, "Oh, just 768 gigs of RAM? Oh, that's terrible." I mean, not 700. Yeah, 768 gigs, whatever, megabytes, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. And they didn't realize that that was EDRAM, which basically confirms that that rumor is false, because to have that much EDRAM on a CPU, you know, that would be huge. The box of the console would have to be huge. And another thing you guys gotta understand is that 2012 RAM, or even 2011, or even 2010, or even 2009, that RAM is not the same as 2005 and 2006 RAM. That's one thing you guys gotta understand when you're looking at these rumored specs. A rumor would come out that the Wii U will only have, you know, 1 gig of RAM, and guys be like, oh, whoa, you know, the 360 had 256, and so I'm sure that, you know, the 360, the 720 and PS4, they're going to have at least 2 gigs. You guys gonna understand, a 1 gigabyte stick from 2006 is not the same thing as a 1 gigabyte stick that will be put into a 2012 video game console. Why? Because density, because efficiency. Over time, RAM and other parts like that, they get more efficient and they get more dense over time. You see what I'm saying? So you can't compare it from a number standpoint. You have to compare what type of RAM it is. You know, what kind of threading it does, you know, stuff like that. The same goes to the CPU and the GPU. You can't just compare, you know, just raw clock speeds. And that's a mistake a lot of you guys make. It's one processor running at 2.4 gigahertz is not the same as another one running at 2.4 gigahertz. You see what I'm saying? An AMD Phenom 2.4 or whatever is not the same thing as an i7 running at a 2.4. You see what I'm saying? It's not the same thing. So get that through your thick skulls. A lot of you are trying to talk about these specs and stuff when you don't even understand the basics. I at least understand that much. Okay, and that's really important. At least I understand the important things. But that's one thing you guys gotta understand. So yeah, people, the Wii U is a true next generation system. And no, the PS4 and the 720 they're not gonna blow it out the water. If they are, then go ahead and buy your $800 console. I'm not doing that. I will wait for a price drop. I'll wait till it gets down to 400. Okay, because that's what you guys are saying. For it to blow, think about it, to blow a $400 console out the water, that's another $100. That's maybe 200. Who knows? You see what I'm saying? Lastly, before I end this video, you guys seem to have forgotten what Sony said a long time ago. Sony basically came out and said that they're not going to invest as heavily into the PS4 like they did the PS3. Basically, they said that the PS3 is not going to be this huge, you know, technical beast that the PS3 was. And now I know you Sony fans, you know, you saw this, but you guys seem to have just forgotten it because you're so focused on bashing the Wii U. But yeah, that pretty much confirms right there that it's not going to blow the Wii U out the water. Because Sony said, you know, we're not going to go tech heavy, you know. And like Nova Phoenix said in his video, you know, I'm pretty sure Sony is going to cut out this whole, we got to be the most powerful thing out there, because it's not working for them. Notice, ever since Sony started making the most powerful platforms, they started losing. PSP lost to DS. PS3 lost to Wii. The Vita, it's already lost. When they were announced, it already lost to the 3DS. It already lost. See what I'm saying? Now notice, when did Sony win? With the PS1 and the PS2, which were the weakest systems of their generation. The N64 was stronger than the PS1. The GameCube was stronger than the PS2. See what I'm saying? So for you guys to think that Sony is going to go out with another $600 console, foolish talk. They're not going to do that, people. Now, yes, I do believe that the PS4 will be stronger than the Wii U, but not significantly so. You see what I'm saying? They're going to be able to port games between the 720, PS4, and Wii U. No problem, people. No problem. Microsoft, on the other hand, they're not going to go tech heavy either. Because if you guys haven't noticed, they don't really care much about bringing out hardcore games. They really don't care. You see what I'm saying? They're in this whole you know, casual craze thing. The way I see it, they're going to try to go for just straight up casual money next generation. Now I'm not saying they're not going to have any you know, hardcore games. I'm just saying, you know, it seems like they're going to do a Kinect 2.0 on the 720. You know, they're going to have a huge casual and, multimedia functions on the 720. That's what they're focusing on. So you really shouldn't expect, a powerful console from even Microsoft. Now, like I said, I do expect the 720 to even be more powerful than the Wii U because both these systems are going to come out after the Wii U. So, it would only make sense that they would be a little bit more powerful. See what I'm saying? But don't expect a huge leap. If you're expecting a huge leap, you're wrong. You're going to be disappointed, people. It's as simple and easy as that. One last thing for in this video. It's a long ass video. One last thing. Free people say, a lot of people, they like to say, don't expect the Wii U to be powerful. This is Nintendo. Nintendo always makes, weak ass last-gen hardware. Do you guys realize that the Wii U was the first console to be weaker than its competitors? Do you guys realize that? See, that's the thing. A lot of you guys take this gen, and you ignore everything else that has ever happened. You just take this generation of consoles, and you just ignore everything. You guys think Sony is this big old, Sony has always been about, just the strongest system when the PS1 and PS2 were a lot weaker. You guys saw freaking Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube and PS2. Like the PS2 version wouldn't have water in places the GameCube version had water. It wouldn't have, rain where the GameCube version had rain, okay? It was washed down a lot. But you guys seem to have forgotten. Why? Because you've been blinded by fanboyism. NES, Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube. All powerful systems. The Wii was the first home console Nintendo has made that was weaker than its competitors. Keep that in mind when thinking about the Wii U specs. And obviously they're going a different route with the Wii U, so I mean, come on people. But I've dragged this video on long enough. Hopefully now this BS could stop being spewed around like a bunch of monkeys do, But I'll see you guys later.